What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, giving you guys a quick market watch, letting you know what's going on in the secondary market, seeing if we can save you guys a couple of bucks, or of course make you guys a couple of bucks. And I think that this is going to serve as the pre-YCS Atlanta market watch, and depending on how that event shapes up and how the secondary market reacts to it, I might make a post-Atlanta market watch on Monday. But let's start things off with the blue man group that is known as Nekroz. A lot of people like this archetype. A lot of people hated it when it was really good. It's kind of crazy. I hated Nekroz when it was on top, but then I played it when it had some of its power stripped away from it, and I was like, holy shit, this deck is so damn fun. And Valk has basically doubled in price. It's actually kind of crazy. I'm not going to toot my own horn too much here, guys, but in my last market watch that I made about 2 weeks ago, I actually did call this one, and towards the very end of this video, I started talking about Valk, and it's a good card to really pick up. I know it was, $22.50 at the time, but I said, hey, this card's kind of creeping up, guys. And, the reason that Nekroz cards are pretty good for investing is Nekroz is a beloved archetype. And, I mean, most people would probably say that if Nekroz got a couple of its cards back, it would be extremely good. If Konami did a couple of things like, all right, maybe we're going to put Brio at 2, maybe we're going to give them Unicorn back to 2, maybe we unban Charit, like Nekroz could definitely skyrocket to maybe like a top 5 deck. And the bigger thing is the fact that these Nekroz cards have never been reprinted, and they are 2 years old now. And the thing about Valkyries and Trishula and Brionac is they were already difficult cards to get when the Secret Forces was new. I mean, you guys know the old story about Nekroz Brionac being like 1 in every like 6 boxes or some shit like that. So it was already like hard to get this Nekroz stuff now. And I mean, and now it's like 2 years later. So it's, very difficult. And honestly, as crazy as this sounds, I would actually hold my Nekroz stuff. Like, I know this is very tempting, $46 for a Valkyries if you got a play set. Maybe you can sell them for like 130 or maybe something like that. But the thing about the cards is, I don't even think that these are on Konami's radar as far as reprinting. I mean, these are not going to be in the Mega 10, so I don't know when they're going to reprint this. I mean, I guess maybe if we somehow get like a Gold Series this year, which it looks like it's not going to happen. So I just don't understand when Konami is like going to have the time to actually reprint Nekroz, and that's why I'm like, these might not get reprinted until, I don't know, 2018. So they might be super safe as an investment. You see Nekroz of Trishula, it was a 1250 card. It's currently sitting at 25 bucks on TCG Players. So, if you have this Nekroz stuff, honestly, I think you can kind of hold tight on it. Maybe wait until the ban list drops. If Konami does something spicy, like, they bring back Charit or, Nekroz of Unicorn to 2, you could be looking at a really good deck. Because keep in mind that Unicorn does shit on, like, Link monsters as well. So, Unicorn is, like, a really good card. Maxi has just, across the board, man, it is shot up. Like, every single version of Maxi, even if you're looking at the Lonely Supers, you used to be looking at $17. Now you're looking at $21. And, I've looked at pretty much all the prices except the ultimate rares, which I don't really think are that relevant, because who wants to pay $100 for a Maxi? But if you look at the ultra rares, the versions that I have, it's up about $10. You see $29 roughly. It used to be about $19. Even if you look at the original printing from Storm of Ragnarok, the secret rares, those are up to about $30 when they used to be, oh wow, this is actually $30 for a moderately played version. Holy shit. So basically you're getting a fucked up version and you're spending $30. It looks like to get a near mint unlimited, you're looking at actually $32. So wow, I didn't even realize that the first time. I don't actually understand why this is happening, because it's not like we really learned anything new about Maxi. Maxi has kind of been considered a staple for the last year in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean, I don't know, it doesn't feel like the playability has gone up. It feels like it's been, top 2, top 3 most played cards in the game. Nothing has really changed. So I don't know, maybe more players are coming into the game and there's just like, more demand for Maxi, but the quantity is pretty much staying the same. Some people are hoping that Konami releasing Ancient Gear Structure Deck and Dino Structure Deck at the same time, that there will be, 2 chances for us to get common Maxis. But historically, guys, Maxi has always been printed in hollow form. There has never been a common Maxi, so I wouldn't necessarily like hold my breath on that. Blasting Fuse, the ultimate rare coming out of Cyberdark Impact, aka commonly known as the worst set in Yu-Gi-Oh history. I can't explain this. I can't advocate this. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Blasting Fuse, guys. All I know is that it's basically $16 and it used to be 71 cents for the ultimate rares. If you guys don't know, this is one of those wanky column cards that came out in CyberDark Impact. Outside of, well, among other things, like CyberDark Impact was known for having like the Chain Strike, making Chain Strike a thing, and these column cards that Konami never used. And you know, now we have Link Summoning, and people are thinking like the column cards are going to become super relevant, and I just don't know how this happened. Like, we've known about Link Summoning for like 2 weeks now. Why is this happening now? Why is this card spiked overnight? Unless somebody learned something, you know, a couple of days ago or within the last 24 hours that I don't know, and this card became like secretly broken. I don't get this at all. But if you really need your Blasting Fuses, don't worry, guys. You can pick them up, the rare copies, for as low as 14 cents, I guess. I don't understand $16 for a card out of CyberDark Impact that might not even see play. I mean, I do get CyberDark Impact is impossible to find in the wild now because, I don't know, that set probably came out in like fucking 2006 off the top of my head, something like that. Solemn Strikes. Okay, so Solemn Strike had been kind of going down. Both copies, the version from the Mega Pack and the version from Breaker of Shadows, they had kind of trickled down to like the low 20s, 21, 22. Now they're going back up and they're getting closer to 30 again. I honestly think that like $20 was really low for a Solemn Strike. And the reason that I think these cards are creeping back up is I think players just realize that Solemn Strike is going to kind of be good forever. I mean, if you look at Solemn Warning, they almost do the same thing. Look at how Solemn Warning came out and Duelist Revolution. That set is like forever ago in the 5Ds era, and Solemn Warning is still not been power creeps. I don't think Solemn Strike will be power creeps anytime soon, like maybe 10 years from now, but who knows what'll happen then. I think people are looking at Strike and they're like, look, it's not going to get reprinted because it just got reprinted last year in the Mega Pack, and it's basically just a great card. You can run 3 of it in a lot of decks, like almost most of the meta. So I don't know. I actually could see this card going up as we kind of get further out from these the 2016 Megatons. Like next year, I could see this card easily hitting $40 or $50 because there'll just be more demand and the supply is probably just not going to go up. Konami hasn't had a history of reprinting Solemn cards in structure decks. So Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. There we go. We did it. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. I don't really get it. I mean, I know that it's obviously good in Predaplants, and I used to run 1 copy just for the hell of it in my Lunar Lights because the whole deck is dark and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, it's a good card. Like in certain situations, Star Venom can be an amazing card, but the price is just skyrocketed. It's basically doubled. It used to be about $11, and I think the reason that it held that value, despite not being as good as some of the other dragons, like not being as practical as the other Dimension dragons, like Dark Rebellion XC or Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, is the fact that it is an anime card and it's used by Yuri, and he's kind of popular on the TV show and whatnot, so the card has gone up. It's like $20, and I'm not exactly sure why, other than the fact that Predaplants just came out in Fusion Enforcers, so I guess most people who play Predaplants are going to want to have at least 1 copy of this. But I mean, how many copies of Starving Venom do you run in Predaplants? Like no more than 2, right? I mean, do you even need to? I'm asking myself questions, but I don't have the answers to that. Anyways, Bujin Amaterasu. The Ghost Rare copy out of Primal Origins has actually about doubled in price. It was under $5. Now this copy right here is about $8.55 with 49-cent shipping, and I think that this has to do with some of the combos that people have kind of been seeing on YouTube when it comes to like Zodiacs, those combos where you open with Terratop and then you use the new Bujin card. The thing is, that card is currently an OCG exclusive if I'm not mistaken, and that's really the only time that you see this card being played. So outside of that, like the only decks that I ever saw use Amaterasu, and don't get me wrong, like even Bujin never used Amaterasu. The only decks that I ever saw really use it were like zombie builds, like those kind of rank 4 zombie builds, so that you could like summon back your Mizuki and kind of do shenanigans like that. But I don't know. I mean, Amaterasu I think has been printed as a common, and it has 2 secret rare printings. It was in the Mega Pack and it was in Primal Origin, so I don't think that it's worth $9, but maybe I'm wrong on this. Ojama King. I thought that this was one of the cards where the hype had kind of died with the whole like trying to lock people out of link summoning. You know, it says right here on the card, it says 3 of your opponent's monster card zones. I think people still might be confused. They still think that it works on maybe the extra deck zone, which I don't believe that it actually does. Or I don't know, maybe Konami just secretly maybe they ruled that it does work on extra deck monster zones in the OCG. I'm not sure why this card out of Soul of the Duelist, the ultimate rare, is sitting at about $16 when it used to be about $6, and even then I don't know if $6 is even worth it, because my thing is, how are you summoning this? Like, that's the thing I don't get. Like, even if you have the idea of locking your opponent out of the zones, let's say that hypothetically works, how are you summoning this? I mean, isn't instant fusion level 5 or lower? Like, I just don't. Someone tell me how you summon this damn thing so I can understand this. And then the last card is Fluffle Bear. The star foil version, or excuse me, the shadow foil version out of the star pack is actually really been going up. It was kind of creeping up as we were getting closer to Fusion Enforcers, but now that Fusion Enforcers is out, the Fluffle deck is like really cheap and really, really good. If it wasn't for Dimensional Barrier, man, I think low-key Fluffles could win a YC. Now, maybe not win a YC. They could probably like top 4 YCS. I don't know if they could win a YCS because my body as a shield kind of fucks them over hard. But anyways, Fluffle Bear is about $7.50. Obviously, there's like a common version of it, but I guess people really do like the Shadow Foil rares. I'm not the biggest fan of them because it's not really shiny or anything like that. I mean, and a lot of the other Fluffle cards, as I said, have been reprinted, like Fluffle Dog. It's just much easier to get. Like, if you're looking for a super rare version, everything comes in Fusion Enforcers. You've got the Octopus now, and you've got the Kraken. So I think people are really excited about the Fluffle deck, and I think that it's really good. If I had to pick just a random sleeper deck at YCS Atlanta, I actually would pick Fluffles, because if the deck can stay away from Dimensional Barrier, it's actually a really, really explosive deck. But you guys let me know, are there some things that I missed out? What do you guys think is the most shocking thing that I talked about? I think Valk going to like almost $50 is really shocking. I thought the card would go up, but I thought it'd go to like 35 or maybe 40 tops. I never thought that it'd go like over $45 easily, and it's kind of crazy. I'd actually would hold off on my Nekroz stuff now that I see a lot of people want it. I would probably just wait, because I don't think any of that Nekroz stuff is getting reprinted. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already.